Do you ever feel overwhelmed by the ever-changing world of technology? Tech It Out can help make some sense of it all. Breaking down geek speak into street speak, technology columnist, author, and TV personality Mark Saltzman covers consumer technology each week for every listener. Mark tackles the latest news, reviews, and how-tos to help you understand what's hot, what's not, and why.
Hey everyone, welcome to Tech It Out. It's episode 391. Hope you're all doing great today. Some of you may be listening right now who are not so into tech. I get that. And you just happen to be in your car, maybe in your hometown, and you turn on your favorite talk radio station, and here you are. You're listening to a show called Tech It Out. But don't touch that dial. You may have heard the announcer say that I break down geek speak into street speak. So you're not going to get so much inside baseball on this program. But on the other hand, you may be listening to Tech It Out as a podcast, which means that you subscribe to it or you tapped to listen to it. And so, hey, I'm not going to let you down either. You're not going to roll your eyes. So I try to drive right down the middle, and I hope you enjoy the program. We have three great guests for you this hour. We're going to start off learning about receipt scanners from Epson. If getting taxes ready was a real pain this year, we'll explain what these can do, whether you work for yourself, as I do, or you need to file expenses to your company for things like travel and all that. After that, what is luxury dating? And do you need to be rich in order to use these dating apps, these matchmaking websites? Well, we're going to chat with the founder of Seeking.com, a popular dating platform, and he'll explain that it's not just for the wealthy. And finally, identity theft is a huge issue in this country, and AI is making it easier for these cyber criminals to defraud you. And so we're going to be joined by LifeLock on how to fight back. All of this and more on an all-new Tech It Out, powered by Visa. Securing the world's payments is priority one. I'll tell you more about Visa's anti-fraud efforts shortly, but let's officially kick off a brand new show with our first interview. Whether you work for an organization and need to provide receipts for expenses like travel, or you work for yourself, as I do, receipt and invoice scanners can make it super easy to digitize important documents and then get them into the hands of those who need them, like, in my case, a bookkeeper or an accountant, especially this time of year, right? And AI is helping as well. Epson is a leader in this space, and so I invited onto the show Stacey Tieu, product manager of scanners at Epson, to share what's new with the award-winning RapidReceipt line of scanners. Welcome to the show, Stacey. Good to chat with you.
Hi, Mark. Good to be here.
Now, before we talk about the solution, i.e. RapidReceipt scanners, let's identify the problem. We're just coming off of tax time, very stressful for many. What was wrong with the old way of collecting receipts?
Well, what we hear from our customers and users is kind of horrifying. They would have boxes and boxes of receipts everywhere laying around, and it's just so difficult to organize them. They could be in a corner somewhere, they could be in a shoebox, and it just piles up. And then there's the issue of inputting all that data into the appropriate software. There's human errors, it's time consuming, it's just not fun. So we saw that issue and we felt we could provide a solution, hence the RapidReceipt line of scanners.
All right. So let's hear about them. This is certainly better than, I had a friend who had a garbage bag of receipts every year. And then every March, he would go through them all and try to digitize them or even manually input them into software. So this is obviously a much better way to handle it. So tell us about the RapidReceipt family of scanners, which I would argue are ideal all year round, not just tax time, but to tell us about them.
Yes. So our goal is to create a scanner lineup tailored to help small businesses to efficiently manage and organize those endless receipt invoices or any other financial documents. Our Epson RapidReceipt scanners are engineered for high performance and designed to tackle a large volume of data and includes a lot of unique features. First and foremost is our ScanSmart AI Pro technology. This is a proprietary technology that powers our receipt management software. What I mentioned before of having boxes of receipts and then manually inputting them into whatever financial software you need, our receipt management software automatically extracts all the key data from your receipts and invoices. And this includes the date, vendor, currency, total, tax tip, even payment method. And allows the consumer to automatically export to financial softwares like TurboTax, QuickBooks. So it really streamlines the process and eliminates human error. I mean, it makes it somewhat more enjoyable. I mean, it skips a lot of steps. So we're able to provide that to the consumer. It solves a lot of the problems. In addition to the ScanSmart AI Pro technology, our RapidReceipt lineup also includes our TrueFeed technology. Another issue folks have with scanners is paper jams, staying by your scanner to like feed in one paper at a time. You don't need to do that with our RapidReceipt lineup. Our top of the line scanner, the RR600W, has a 100-page robust auto document feeder where you could stack invoices, receipts, paper up to 100 pages, and it automatically feeds through. And with our ultrasonic sensors, it reduces paper jam. So it's a very easy flow. We also have Scanway technology, where if you have OneDrive, Dropbox, or even Microsoft 360, so you can easily archive your data into these cloud drivers. And our lineup includes mobile. So if you're a real estate agent and you're traveling around and you need a mobile scanner, we also have that solution. Or you have more to scan, we have compact desktop and desktop models as well.
So for receipts, often there are little tiny slips of paper that you get from a restaurant or whatever. They're not always like a full page that you may get from a hotel when you check out. So can these RapidReceipt scanners also handle small little receipts? Like how would you stack something like that?
Oh, absolutely. That's where the TrueFeed technology comes in. You could stack all different sizes, it could be a small one, medium, and large one, into the auto document feeder up to 100 sheets, and it would feed it nearly perfectly. The ultrasonic sensors reduces paper jams, and it could accommodate all those little bitty different size receipts.
Awesome. Would you say, Stacey, this is more ideal for employees for a medium or large organization, like an enterprise grade organization, or someone like me, a solopreneur? So I have no employees. It's all me, or for both camps?
Actually, it spans multiple end users. I've had coworkers who borrow the RapidReceipt to scan their taxes and receipts, and I can't quote this, she called it life-changing. Or it could be you, owner-operator. You don't have any employees to help you out, and you need a helper, the RapidReceipt scanner, to do this for you, and it can in a very cost-effective way.
We are chatting with Stacey Tieu. She is product manager for scanners at Epson. We're learning about the award-winning RapidReceipt line of scanners. You mentioned one model, I think it was the 600W. Is that right?
Yep.
And it looks like it's not as big as a computer printer, but it is something that you would keep, say, in a home office. And does it wirelessly scan to a computer, or do you have to plug it in like the old school printers?
You have both options. It comes wireless. You could set up as wireless, or you could set it up scanning via USB to connect to your computer.
It's accuracy, I think, that some people may be concerned about. This is your financials here. Nobody wants to risk getting audited from the IRS. So this is using, I guess, what's called OCR, optical character recognition. So it identifies those numbers and puts them in the right cells, so to speak.
Correct. Absolutely. And we are definitely very sensitive to the accuracy. We know that our end users are concerned with that because this is their tax return they were talking about. The software allows the consumers to check the data before it saves. So there is a check-in process there, and it is very data-driven. So the more data you feed it, the more accurate it is. So far, we've seen very positive reviews on it.
Great. And I guess that's where the AI comes in, because it would be cool enough if it just scanned everything and digitized everything. But I love that it extracts the information, the words and the numbers, more importantly, perhaps during tax time, and puts it in the right area. So it automatically identifies all the key parts of say a receipt or an invoice or something. I think there's also an app as well.
Oh, yes, there is definitely an app that accompanies our scanners. The AI piece is actually twofold. I talked about the data extraction, but it's also getting all that information onto your computer so you could take advantage of all the AI tools out there. You could have all your CSV or Excel file of all your taxes, invoices, and you could go on Microsoft Copilot and ask, tell me all my expenses from so-and-so restaurant in 2024. And The AI program can do that now, but the key is getting all that information onto your computer so you could take advantage of all the current AI tools. And our rapid receipt scanners can help consumers to do that.
Love that. I love the generative AI applications as well. And before I let you go, tell us please what you think separates RapidReceipt from other document scanners in the market. You talked about the software. You can load up to 100 pieces of paper in the input tray and it doesn't get jammed. You may have already answered this, but there's obviously other solutions out there. Why Epson?
Well, it's our proprietary technology. We have 4 proprietary technology that's included with RapidReceipt. ScanSmart AI Pro, which I mentioned automatically extracts the data from all the receipts and text forms, and also our TrueFeed technology with our ultrasonic sensor to really minimize those paper jams. There's also Scanway technology that automatically archives the data into cloud services like OneDrive, Dropbox, and more. And of course, you mentioned accuracy. Accuracy is key, and our HyperClear technology provides scans that are true to form and accurate.
All right, great. And then finally, where can we learn more for things like pricing and availability?
It's epson.com/scanners.
Great. Epson.com/scanners. And we should clarify there's other types of scanners as well, like the fast photo ones for images. So you're going to see an assortment of scanners, but you'll quickly identify the RapidReceipt ones, Epson.com/scanners. Stacey, thank you so much for your time and your expertise. Great to chat with you. Thank you.
Thank you for having me, Mark.
We talk luxury dating when we return on Tech It Out. You're not going to want to miss this.
Listen to Tech It Out whenever you want. Find the Tech It Out podcast at iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts.
Welcome back to Tech It Out. We cover cybersecurity a lot on this program and how you can best protect yourself in the digital age, even if you're not super tech savvy. One part of the solution is securely shopping online. And so I'm thrilled about my partnership with Visa on Tech It Out, as they've made some significant investments in fraud prevention over the past 5 years, as much as $10 billion. Yes, that's billion with a B, to support Visa's brand promise to protect the financial information of individuals and businesses. Zero liability means peace of mind when you shop online using your Visa card. There can be no half measures when it comes to cybersecurity, which is why the company takes an aggressive and multi-layered approach to combating the rising threat of malicious software and other threats by well-funded and global criminal enterprises. Read more about Visa and how securing the world's payments is priority one at visa.com/security. That's visa.com/security. Not all dating apps and sites are created equal. And so how does Seeking.com differentiate itself from the pack? And is it working? Are singles flocking to Seeking.com? And if so, why? To answer these questions and others, joining us on the line is Brandon Wade, founder and CEO of Seeking.com. Thanks for your time, Brandon. Good to chat with you.
Nice to be on here, Mark. Thank you for having me.
Excellent. All right. So before we talk about Seeking.com, what is luxury dating? Is it just as it sounds?
It really is, but I think there's a lot of misconception over what luxury is. I think people think luxury means having a lot of money and being able to spend it freely, but it's more than that. Luxury is actually a timeless concept. If you think about luxury, the sort of the royalties of the European cultures, they sort of brought luxury into sort of the mainstream sort of mindset, right? And luxury means having the time to enjoy things. It's having the resources to be able to take sort of lifestyle and life into the finest sort of experience. So that is what I would call luxury. And luxury dating is for the people who are actually looking for that as a lifestyle with the partner that they end up finding and spending their life with. And that's the way I would define luxury dating.
And why do you think this is such a popular trend today, even in the dating world?
I think everyone aspires to have the luxurious experience, so to say. I think if you fly a specific airline, you want to be on the business class or the first class because the experience is just so much better. But that's sort of looking at it in a very simplistic way. I think social media has a lot to play with that as well. I think when people look at social media and they look at the sort of lifestyle that some of these influencers are showing off, right? And people look at that and say, well, I want that for myself. So there's the aspirational aspect to luxury, the luxury lifestyle.
I think you're 100%. So now let's talk about the dating part of that and specifically what Seeking.com is all about.
Yeah. When it comes to dating, it's not as simple as saying, well, I want a luxury lifestyle, so I'm going to just find somebody wealthy. Because the success mindset, which is what leads someone to get to the point of having the capacity to live a luxurious life, is actually more intricate. It is about ambition. It is about having the drive. It is about having the right mindset to believe that you can and therefore deserve to live a life like that, and then going out there to achieve that. And of course, when I'm talking about a dating site, you're really talking about matching people who have the similar sort of thinking, same mindset, the same type of success mindset. Because when you match two people who don't share the same mindsets, the relationship is probably not going to work because one person's goal is a specific way, another person is another way. So the importance of having two people thinking alike, wanting the same thing, having the same goals is extremely important. And hence, a need for a website which matches people who want this sort of lifestyle and has the mindset to achieve it.
And so is Seeking.com more of a web platform than an app?
It is more of a web platform for a number of different reasons. Most of the dating apps out there these days, whether it's Tinder or Bumble or Hinge, the number of users you can actually see or the profiles you can actually see depends on how many times you can swipe. Alternatively, some platforms actually dole out maybe 4 or 5 profiles a day to sort of help you focus your search. Seeking.com works differently. We actually expose the entire database to our members. So you have access to the millions of users all at once, allowing you to search and filter by all types of criteria that you have. So that's one of the core differences between our platform and, say, most of the apps out there today.
But you could use your mobile device on the web version of Seeking.com, correct? It's not an app at all.
Yes, it's actually available on the Android app. So it is an app as well. But I think the web platform has much more of the filtering capabilities and the search capability, which gives you greater access to the membership base. And that is available on your mobile phone through your web browser.
Got it. All right. Mm-hmm. So whether you use a mobile device like a phone or a tablet or a computer, a laptop, a desktop, Seeking.com is a matchmaking site, and please correct me if I'm wrong. It's a matchmaking platform that focuses on luxury dating, and you've explained what that means to you and your company. And one of the other key differentiators is not just an app that you swipe left or right or what have you. And so when we return, I'm going to ask, is it working? Are people flocking to this site? Is it all gold diggers, people looking for a sugar daddy, a rich cougar, or whatever phrase you want to use? I would love to know, is this working? And so I'm going to ask our guest, Brandon Wade. He's the founder and CEO of Seeking.com. If this is indeed working, I want to hear more about it when we return. I'm sure you do too. So stick with us. We'll be right back with more Tech It Out.
Want to follow Mark? Google him. Mark with a C and Saltzman with a Z. Breaking down geek speak into street speak. This is Tech It Out. Tech It Out with technology columnist, author, and TV personality Mark Saltzman.
Welcome back to Tech It Out. We are chatting with Brandon Wade. He's founder and CEO of Seeking.com. Apologies for my allergies. It's S like Sam, EEKING, like you're seeking something, or in this case, someone. And Brandon is explaining the key differentiators between Seeking and other platforms. So before the break, I told you, Brandon, I was going to ask you, is it working?
The website was launched in 2006 by me. And I was really looking to solve a dating problem I have, which is, I'm shy. Like most of the people in tech, I focus a lot of my time on education and then obviously on my career. not putting a lot of attention on my social life, which led me to a big disadvantage when I'm using a regular dating app or even a site. Because when it comes to the dating game, fortunately or unfortunately, it's quite superficial initially. It's about, the mutual attraction, the physical attraction, or even the attributes that people see within your profile. So to make things better for myself, I developed Seeking, which focuses more on people who are educated and more successful. And it was very successful almost instantaneously because we were able to attract more female users than we do the male users. So the female to male ratio on Seeking is much higher than on most other dating platforms out there. So it works from that perspective. But then, of course, love it's actually a random process, much like the quantum process. It can happen to anyone at any time, and you really don't know when it will happen.
Sorry if I wasn't clear. I'm just curious to know how well it's working. Can you quantify how Seeking.com is doing?
Well, I would say the website has over time, since its launch, accumulated about 56 million members. Now that's the total number of users who have signed up over the last 15 years. So when you sign up, you have to answer a set of questions, which then classifies you as either somebody who's already successful, able to provide that specific type of lifestyle, which was what I call a luxury lifestyle, or somebody who's ambitious, who's on your way to its success. Now, those who are already successful, clearly they pay a higher price. And a lot of people would say, well, do you verify people's income or even net worth? Well, the self-verification happens because of the prices that we charge. It's higher than most other dating sites. As a successful user, you would be paying more. And as an ambitious user, you could actually use the website for free.
Oh, okay. That's good to know. I understand there's some new features that have recently rolled out.
Mm-hmm. There are new features. A lot of the newer features that we're actually rolling out happens on the back end. We have decided as a dating site or dating app that we no longer want to tolerate, scammers and fraud, which is actually quite prevalent in the dating space. I think you have seen many of the documentaries about people swindling each other. There's people who pretend to be who they are not on dating platforms. So one of the key features that we launched earlier this year is a liveness check, which is an AI-powered system that makes sure that the person on the other end is actually a real person, not a fake AI-generated image or even a fake photo, for instance. And then we match the look of that person to the look of the photos that they upload. So not only do we know the person is actually real, we also know that they actually do look like who they say they are.
That's great. Well, it's good to know because catfishing is a problem and other associated romance scams. I'm using that in air quotes. And do you support same-sex relationships as well?
Yes, we do not discriminate. Any types of relationship configuration is well supported. Instead of actually launching more new features like a lot of the other dating apps out there, we are actually doing the opposite. Now, one of the things that the users or your listeners may not know is that my wife is actually my co-CEO. Ever since ever since we got married, one of the things I realized when I got married is, hey, I'm ready to retire. I want to be out there really enjoying life and experiencing this luxury lifestyle I talked about with my wife. But when I looked at the way the websites are run, I realized that, hey, we really need to do something about our platform to really transform it into what it needs to be to solve the dating challenges that I now see and know because of my own success. That's actually plagued in the entire sort of dating space. Earlier this year, in fact last year, you read a lot of news articles about how Gen Z is tired of dating apps specifically. They're jaded. There's too many relationships that are just going by too quickly. A swipe and you're on to the next person. People are missing on that genuine connection, which is ultimately what true love is sort of springs forth from. We want to give people an opportunity to tell more of their story because at the end of the day, honesty is what gets you to a perfect match. If you can be completely honest about exactly who you are, what you want, all your kinks, then you are going to attract people who are actually open to who you are and accept you for who you are, which is the basis for that communication I'm talking about, where you can be vulnerable and actually talk about what you want openly. On too many dating sites, they tend to put themselves out there as who they are not really. And then they have to then protect or even defend that lie that they tell others, which leads to very unhappy sort of relationships or relationships that ultimately don't work out. So once we understand how relationships work, my sort of mission as well as my wife's mission to transform the dating app into one that actually helps people make that genuine connection.
Great. And then finally, how do our single listeners get going? So it's seeking.com, and then you just sign up from there?
It is seeking.com. You just sign up from there.
All right. Awesome. Seeking.com. Brandon, thank you so much for your time. Wishing you continued success with the platform.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you for having me.
You are listening to Tech It Out. I'm your host, Mark Saltzman. If you want to reach out on social media, perhaps you've got tech questions for me, or you've got suggestions for upcoming guests or topics for Tech It Out, you can find me on all the major platforms. I'll spell my name in a moment, but I'm on X, formerly Twitter, Threads, Blue Sky, LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, and a few others. So just do a search, Mark Saltzman, MarkSaltzman, Mark Saltzman, Mark with a C, Saltzman with a Z. If you prefer email, you can simply go to my website, marksaltzman.com. You'll find how you can email me from there and can reach out that way if that's more your thing than social media. Money seems to be the theme this hour. A receipt scanner, then a luxury dating website to attract wealthy mates, perhaps. And coming up next, how to fight back against identity theft. We'll chat with LifeLock when we return on Tech It Out.
Breaking down geek speak into street speak. Tech It Out, hosted by Mark Saltzman.
Welcome back, everyone. You're listening to Tech It Out. As you likely know, identity theft is when someone uses your personal info, like your name or social security number, or maybe bank account details, to commit fraud or other crimes. You might think that you're helpless against these tech-savvy cyber criminals, but there are some things that you can do to significantly lower the odds of becoming a victim. This is what we're going to cover now with Ian Bednowitz. He's General Manager of LifeLock. Welcome to the show, Ian. Good to chat with you.
Thank you, Mark. It's great to chat with you as well, and happy to be here and talking about a very important topic.
It is an important topic. I agree with you, but it's something that, as I alluded to off the top, a lot of people don't think they can do anything about. So before we get to some tips, let's first hear about LifeLock at a high level. Tell us about the organization and the services that you provide.
As a company, LifeLock has been the pioneer in the identity theft protection space for many, many years. We have been around before people really knew what identity theft was. And at the core, our service is around protecting people from losing money due to identity theft for the things that you highlighted, for people taking your personal information, taking out loans in your name, taking money from your account, taking out credit cards in your name, et cetera. And then we also provide white glove support to help members fix any problems that happen. And that's backed by up to $3 million in insurance in our product.
All right. So we'll get to some of that in a moment from now, but let's unpack some of those initial features that you mentioned, starting with identity and social security number monitoring. How does LifeLock work exactly in this regard?
Yeah. So identity and social security number monitoring are just a fancy way of saying that we are covering all potential accounts that could be opened in your name without your knowledge. So these in particular are things that would not come up on your credit report. So things like your phone accounts, that utility accounts, things like that we monitor. There's a more core feature, which is credit monitoring, which monitors all of everything that comes up on your credit report. And so that's credit cards, personal loans are the most common, mortgages would be on there as well. So basically between our full feature set, we are monitoring any and all accounts that could be opened in your name. We also monitor for new checking or savings accounts being opened or changes to those accounts. That's usually a sign of money laundering. And finally, we monitor less regulated forms of credit like payday loans or buy now, pay later loans.
All right. Thanks for that. Now, is it tied to a particular service like, say, Equifax for credit monitoring, or do you work across the board? Maybe you can pull the curtain back a little bit on how it works. How does LifeLock manage to keep an eye on your credit score and your financial accounts?
Yeah, absolutely. So it depends on which plan you have. But yes, for credit in particular, we do use one vendor, and that vendor provides both your core credit score and your 3-bureau credit score as well, if you have our higher tier plans. But for those other alerts, we use a variety of services, vendors, as well as our own proprietary information in order to monitor all of your information. So we're not reliant on any one data source. We monitor millions of data points, some of which are proprietary, some of which are through vendors, in order to keep eyes on any place that an identity thief could take advantage of you.
All right. Thanks for that. Now, is this the same as dark web monitoring, which I know LifeLock offers as well, or at least in one of the tiers of the subscription service?
Yeah, so Mark, dark web, I haven't really talked about dark web, and it is different. Now, it's in all of our services. Now, dark web monitoring is a service that scans and searches websites and forums on the dark web. Now, that term is kicked around a lot. A lot of people don't really understand what the dark web is. Now, the dark web is kind of a shadow internet that can only be accessed by special software. So it's not like you can type in a certain address on your browser. You have to download specific software to access this. And generally, everything on the dark web is anonymous, and it's a hotbed for the trading of illicit information, illicit transactions. So this is where people will transact with personal information that's been stolen in breaches or directly from individuals, and monetize that before they take advantage of you. So we notify you if any of your information is found in this dark web. And that could be as simple as there is a breach in a particular company and your username and password were found on the dark web, or it could be an unfortunate situation where your social security number, or date of birth, or driver's license number was found on the dark web.
Got it. And I know some web browsers, they'll notify you if I want to use a password to log into my online accounts, like my bank, for example. It may say, hey, Mark, your password was found to be breached and it was found on the dark web. You should not use this password. You should change it immediately.
Yeah, that is absolutely the case. And we will monitor beyond just your passwords for all of your personal information, as I said. But if you get that notification from your browser, then you absolutely need to change that information immediately.
So Ian, let's say you're a LifeLock subscriber, and I will ask you about pricing and the different tiers in a moment, and your info or your financial accounts are compromised. What happens next? Is there reimbursement? Is it like an insurance policy?
Yeah, in many ways, it is an insurance policy, but with a lot of extra support built in versus a traditional insurance policy. First, we'll alert you of suspicious transactions in your account. If you say, hey, I don't recognize this, our specialists will work with you and the bank, and they'll guide you through the entire process to determine and resolve the issues. And as needed, we will actually hire lawyers on your behalf. You don't have to pay a cent out of your pocket. We do that for you, and we have coverage up to $1 million in those legal fees.
If the situation isn't resolved, of course. Very cool. More with LifeLock when we return on Tech It Out. Stay with us.
Follow Mark Saltzman on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. Listen to Tech It Out whenever you want.
If you're just tuning in, we're joined by Ian Bednowitz. He's GM of LifeLock, talking with us about identity theft, highlighting the long tail of refund fraud and IRS phishing long after filing your taxes. And Ian, can you tell us a bit about home title monitoring?
Yeah, home title monitoring, Mark, is a critical feature. It's to stop scammers from taking out loans against your home, your most valuable asset, or even having it sold out from under you. You may or may not be aware there was a recent high-profile case of attempted home title theft of Graceland. This is Elvis's former home. This is one of the most iconic properties in the US, if not the world. And what happened is that fraudsters forged documents showing that there was a loan against the home for millions of dollars. And then they attempted to foreclose on the home. They said that loan was unpaid and therefore they needed to claim the home as collateral. And the family said, hey, this is fraud, but they had to invest a tremendous amount of time and legal resources to get this resolved in the courts. And it was a very public fight. And if this can happen to Graceland, this can happen to anyone's home. So it's really important that people are aware that this type of fraud can happen and if they have this monitoring in place.
All right. I'm going to ask you what kind of LifeLock tier would cover that kind of protection. But first, any other tips you can impart on our listeners on ways to protect yourself?
There are kind of very common things that you can do to protect yourself. First and foremost, I always tell anybody, you need to be skeptical of anyone reaching out to you. You should use two-factor authentication. You should use a password manager, change passwords on all of your accounts. You should limit the sharing of your personal information anytime that you can. A lot of times, call it doctors, dentists, there can be many places where you get asked for details like your social security number, your date of birth, and you don't always have to give that information out. And you can challenge the organization and say, do I really need to give this to you? And oftentimes they'll say, no, I don't need that, or they can come up with an alternative. And then finally underlies all of it, as we've been talking about, get an identity theft protection service. I mean, you should always be checking your credit reports on your own. If you don't have it for any attempts, any potential fraud, but if you have a service like LifeLock, we do all of that for you. You can have peace of mind and rest easy at night.
And Ian, so tax time pretty much come to an end now, but you've got some advice post-tax season.
Yeah, absolutely. Scammers ramp up their efforts after people filed their taxes. People think that they can relax now, but this is the time, because people can relax, that scammers exploit that false sense of security. So some of the common scams that we see are phishing emails and fake IRS calls. Fraudsters impersonate IRS officials, which seems more credible. They'll claim issues with your return or refund to try to get personal information from you. You can get unsolicited tax transcripts. A tax transcript is a record of your filing that is only available through the IRS, but you might get an email saying, hey, here's your tax transcript that could pretend to be from the IRS or someone else. And if you click on that, what will happen is there's malware that will infect your machine. And then the final scam that we see is for people who haven't filed their taxes yet. Scammers will take advantage of that and promise fast service. They'll be marketing, any legitimate tax service during this time is completely backed up. So it's very hard to get your taxes done, but they may promise very fast turnarounds and quick results. And so you should ideally work with known tax preparers. But if it is someone new, make sure you always ask any tax preparer for the preparer tax identification number, PTIN. Every tax preparer has that to verify their authenticity before you send them any personal info.
All great tips. And then finally, how much do the LifeLock plans start at, and where do we get going?
Yeah, so you can start with our protection. Our entry-level protection starts at $90 per year or $12 per month. You can learn more at lifelock.com. We, of course, have more comprehensive protection that can cover your entire family. That would be significantly more than that, but very basic entry-level, or your entry-level coverage that covers a lot of your primary needs is $90 per year or $12 per month.
All right. And then also, Ian, something we really didn't touch on is that your sister company is Norton, very well-known, respected, and trusted cybersecurity software suite of products. Is there a bundle where you can get LifeLock and Norton protection together?
Yeah, absolutely. You can get it through both Norton.com and LifeLock.com. We have the identity theft protection from LifeLock that I talked about, together with security for your devices, scam protection, VPN, a full suite of services. So if you want the most comprehensive protection, absolutely getting the Norton plus LifeLock bundle is the best option.
All right, Ian, great to chat with you. Thank you so much.
Of course. Thank you, Mark. It's great to talk about this, and I appreciate you having me on.
Speaking of protection, thank you to Visa one last time for protecting both consumers and businesses. And on a related note, make sure to back up your important files on a regular basis. I always trust SanDisk drives like SD cards, USB thumb drives, solid state drives. SanDisk.com. Have a great rest of your day, everyone, and I look forward to catching up with you next weekend for another brand new episode of Tech It Out. Bye-bye for now.